The visionary who took on Wall Street imagined being able to predict one of the largest economic crises in history, while simultaneously making billions as the world falls apart. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what Michael Burry did. He saw what no one else could, challenged the accepted norms, and beat the system. What's most incredible about his story isn't just the fortune he amassed, but the lessons he offers to those seeking to understand the market, human nature, and even the mysteries behind major decisions. Now, the lingering question remains: what more can we learn from the man who took on Wall Street and came out on top? Who is Michael Burry, and why is he so significant? Michael Burry is one of those brilliant minds that seem to see what no one else does. A trained doctor, but an investor at heart. He earned his reputation by founding Scion Capital, a hedge fund that became the stage for one of the most historic bets of modern times. He became globally known for predicting the subprime mortgage crisis of 2008, a financial collapse that seemed unimaginable to many analysts at the time. While the market believed in the safety of mortgage, Burry, with his insatiable curiosity, dove deep into the details and spotted the signs of impending disaster. Burry's vision wasn't the result of luck or chance. He's known for his extraordinary reading and analytical skills, combining intelligence with an almost obsessive focus. Before predicting the crisis, he spent hours poring over mortgage contracts, something most investors overlooked. This level of dedication reveals a historical aspect of his personality. He doesn't follow the crowd, but questions everything with a sharp and critical mind. This approach made him influential, not only in the financial market but also as a symbol of intellectual resilience. One of Michael Burry's most intriguing traits is his reserved, almost antisocial nature. Unlike charismatic investors who dominate the headlines, he prefers silence to attention. Ironically, it was his bet against the housing market immortalized in the movie The Big Short that thrust him into the limelight. His role in this moment demonstrated not only a deep knowledge of finance, but also extraordinary courage. Burry bet against a seemingly unshakable market, causing doubt even within his own team. He faced criticism, resistance, and even threats from investors. Still, he held his ground, driven by a belief in the number. His example is a powerful reminder that innovation and courage often go hand in hand. The extraordinary result of his bet was a massive fortune for his fund and the validation of his vision. However, it wasn't just the money that set him apart, but the way he exposed the flaws and mysteries of the financial system. His actions revealed how banks and other institutions were propping up a house of cards, an illusion of stability that collapsed with the slightest disruption. This transformed Burry into a kind of anti-hero of modern capitalism, someone who defied the system and came out victorious. Interestingly, even after 2008, he continued to showcase an impressive ability to analyze market phenomena. Recently, his bets have gained attention again, showing that he hasn't lost his knack for spotting trends before they become obvious to others. Whether investing in water or warning about new bubbles, Burry continues to challenge conventional wisdom. If you think he stopped there, prepare to understand how his trajectory ties into something even deeper: the signs of today's market. After all, what can we learn from someone who predicted disaster while others ignored the obvious? Michael Burry's medical background and transition to finance. Few stories are as intriguing as Michael Burry's. A doctor who traded in his white coat for the frenzied energy of the financial market. His academic journey began at Vanderbilt University, where he studied medicine, and later at Stanford Hospital, where he specialized in neurology. However, something extraordinary was happening behind the scenes. While studying to save lives, he spent his nights analyzing stocks. This blend of medical precision and an insatiable curiosity about market dynamics began to shape Burry's future. What many don't know is that Burry started investing while still a medical student, revealing a restless and multifaceted mind. He spent his free time writing in online financial forums, sharing analyses that impressed with their depth. It was in these spaces that his intellect caught the attention of investors and fund managers. His writings were so influential that many considered his recommendations indisputable, a rare phenomenon for someone without formal training in economics or finance. Burry's official transition into the world of investing came in 2000, when he founded Scion Capital. He sold his long-term medical career and dove headfirst into the world of numbers and charts. The precision he had learned in medicine, where small details can save lives, became his primary tool in finance. For Burry, analyzing a company or an asset was like diagnosing a disease. The signs were always there. You just had to know where to look. Despite his innovative intelligence, his entry into finance wasn't easy. He faced resistance for being an outsider, someone without the traditional Wall Street pedigree. But his ability to spot hidden opportunities quickly turned the tide in his favor. For example, in one of his first bets, he invested in undervalued companies that eventually brought incredible returns to his fund. It marked the beginning of his meteoric rise in the financial world. This career change wasn't just a bold leap. It was a historical milestone for Burry. He proved that intelligent, analytical thinking can be applied to any field, as long as there's determination and curiosity. This combination of qualities made his journey even more extraordinary, highlighting him as someone unafraid to reinvent himself. Many investors could learn from his courage to leave behind a secure career for something more meaningful. Interestingly, Burry never completely abandoned his medical mindset. He still believes in the importance of thorough study before making decisions a practice. He applies both to the market and to life. His research methods, based on solid data, show how his medical discipline shaped his financial approach. This makes him a unique figure, someone who combines science, intuition, and logic in decision-making. And if medicine taught him how to save lives, the financial market gave him the chance to shape future. But the lingering question is, how can someone with this vision use their background to predict such complex global and financial events? Wait until you understand how he used this knowledge to expose the flaws of an entire system. Michael Burry's vision of the subprime crisis. Michael Burry was a pioneer in seeing the hidden dangers behind the U.S. housing market in the early 2000s. For many, mortgages were seen as safe asset, a solid pillar of the economy. However, Burry's curiosity led him to deeply analyze the data behind these operations, revealing something unsettling: a bubble ready to burst. His intelligence made him realize that increasingly accessible mortgage loans were being granted to people with low repayment capacity, creating a systemic risk. What made his analysis extraordinary was the innovative method he used. While most investors focused on broad market performance indices, Burry went further. He studied individual mortgage contracts and found disturbing patterns. The high default rate in certain segments and the excessive reliance of banks on financial derivatives were creating an explosive scenario. This level of detailed dedication was uncommon on Wall Street, further emphasizing how influential his approach was. Burry made a decision that few would have had the courage to make. He bet against the housing market, using credit swaps to profit from the widespread defaults he predicted. His historic bet became one of the most notable financial phenomena in modern history. At the time, many thought he was crazy since the U.S. housing market was seen as an unshakable rock. However, Burry trusted his intellect and the evidence he had found, remaining firm even under pressure. The impact of his bet was on one hand, it generated incredible profits for his fund and the investors who trusted his vision. On the other, it exposed the financial system as a structure full of flaws and hidden mysteries. His courageous decision to confront major banks and insurers revealed how fragile the foundations of an economy that seemed so solid were. He didn't just make money. He also changed the way the market viewed financial risk. Burry's story during the subprime crisis is a lesson in persistence and self-confidence. He faced criticism and even contempt from his investors, who initially didn't understand his strategy. Still, he pressed on, guided by his logical analysis and conviction that he was right. His courage in challenging conventional thinking is an inspiring example of how intelligence can overcome conformity, even in an environment as hostile as Wall Street. After the crisis, many began to revere Burry as a visionary. His prediction wasn't just a warning about the housing market, but also a signal that innovation and curiosity are powerful tools for uncovering seemingly unsolvable mysteries. He demonstrated that, with intelligence and dedication, it's possible to see beyond the surface and identify what's invisible to most. But what happens after such a historic feat? How does someone continue to impact the world after changing the game so radically? Burry didn't stop there. His analyses continue to draw attention, especially when he identifies new risks that others prefer to ignore. Burry's bet impact and lessons on financial risk. Michael Burry's 2008 bet against the housing market didn't just expose a financial system riddled with flaws. It also left profound lessons on how to deal with risks. Burry identifying the housing bubble before anyone else. Burry proved that intelligence and curiosity are powerful tools for facing extraordinary scenarios. He showed that, in a world where many followed the crowd, questioning the nature of things can lead to incredible results. One of the biggest lessons Burry left behind was the importance of trust in concrete data, even when it challenges popular beliefs. He saw the growing risk in mortgage markets by studying the details that supported these assets. This historical example serves as a reminder that looking beyond the surface is essential. Today, this can be applied to personal decisions, such as investments, career choices, or even the way we approach everyday problems. Another key takeaway was his courage to act when no one else believed in it. At the height of the housing bubble, betting against the market was considered almost unthinkable. He faced resistance from investors, criticism from peers, and even hostility from banks that didn't want to admit their vulnerability. Still, Burry stood firm. This stance is a masterclass in the importance of maintaining confidence in your ideas, even in the face of adversity. The financial impact of his bet was immense. He not only made billions for his fund, but also alerted the world to the dangers of ignoring warning signs. However, what truly stood out was how he turned a risky situation into an innovative opportunity. He proved that risk, when calculated, isn't something to fear but rather a tool to achieve something greater. Burry also highlighted how modern financial systems, despite appearing smart and robust, are often full of mysteries and vulnerability. His experience exposed the importance of questioning structures we deem solid. This lesson can extend beyond finance, such as in business decisions or even how we evaluate relationships and personal choices. His actions continue to inspire investors and professionals worldwide. Books and films like The Big Short popularized his story, but Burry's real legacy lies in the practical lessons he left behind. He showed us that, with dedication and a clear vision, it's possible to navigate even the most complex scenarios and emerge victorious. And while many wonder if they could replicate his strategy, a larger question arises. What is he seeing now? After all, if there's one thing we've learned from Burry, it's that he's always a step ahead of the rest of the world. Burry's relationship with the financial system and his criticisms of the market. Michael Burry is not just a successful investor, he's also a fierce critic of the financial system. After exposing the flaws that led to the 2008 crisis, he has maintained a strong stance in questioning the nature of global market. To him, the system is complex but full of vulnerability, with institutions prioritizing extraordinary profits at the expense of long-term stability. His voice has become influential not only for what he's done but for what he continues to point out as imminent risks. One of his most forceful criticisms is directed at banks and their practice, which, according to him, fuel financial bubbles. During the subprime crisis, Burry saw how banks bundled bad mortgages into seemingly safe financial products. This behavior not only deceived investors but also demonstrated how greed can mask dangerous phenomena. He doesn't hesitate to say that many market problems stem from a lack of transparency and the relentless pursuit of quick profit. Burry is also a staunch advocate for deep analysis and solid data, something he believes is often overlooked in many financial sectors. In his view, market decisions are frequently based on emotion or trends, which he considers a historical mistake. He often uses his intelligence to warn about trends and patterns that go unnoticed by most, such as the risks associated with bubbles in tech assets or the increasing global debt. Another notable aspect is his critique of collective behavior in the market. For Burry, humanity's tendency to follow the crowd creates a dangerous cycle of euphoria and collapse. He believes curiosity and skepticism are essential for survival in the market, but they are often ignored. This innovative outlook sets him apart as an investor who isn't afraid to challenge dominant thinking, even when it places him in direct opposition to the system. Although he's critical, Burry also offers solutions. He advocates for greater regulation and transparency in the financial sector to prevent new collapses. However, his suggestions are often met with resistance, especially from those profiting from the status quo. This only strengthens his position as an influential yet controversial figure within the industry. A recent example of his foresight occurred when he warned about the dangers of overvalued stocks and the unchecked growth of certain cryptocurrencies. While many dismissed these warnings, his trajectory reminds us that his predictions tend to come true. He remains a voice that challenges the system, using his intellect to expose flaws and propose changes that few are willing to address. The big question is the financial system really ready to listen to voices like Burry's? While he continues to observe and critique, the financial world remains alert, curious to see what he will uncover next. Burry's investment strategies and focus on the long term. Michael Burry is known for his extraordinary investment strategy, based on meticulous analysis and the search for opportunities that others often overlook. His approach, marked by curiosity and analytical intelligence, stands out for one simple yet powerful principle: invest for the long term. He believes the market often underestimates undervalued assets and ignores historical signs that point to future potential. One foundation of his strategy is detailed research. Burry doesn't make decisions based on fleeting trends. He digs deep into the fundamentals of companies, from financial statements to specific contracts. It was this practice that helped him spot the 2008 housing bubble, but it also guides him in other bets. To him, investing is like solving a mystery. It requires patience and intelligence to connect the dots. Another key aspect of his approach is resisting the emotions of the market. While many investors panic during downturns or sudden euphoria, Burry stays calm and trusts his analysis. He believes collective behavior can lead to disaster, so he prefers to act contrary to the tide. This mindset made him one of the few investors to profit during the global financial crisis. Burry also has a sharp eye for identifying innovative assets that could become influential in the future. A notable example is his investment in water resources, which he sees as an essential yet underestimated asset. For him, climate change and global phenomena are shaping the future of market, and those who can read these signals will reap incredible returns. This vision shows how he uses his curiosity to anticipate long-term trends. Moreover, he advocates for simplicity and logic in investing. Burry avoids fads and complex financial products, preferring strategies that anyone with dedication and patience can apply. He believes that intelligence in the market isn't about chasing the extraordinary, but understanding the essential. Books like The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham are often mentioned as part of his education. Burry's focus on the long term doesn't mean he ignores risk. On the contrary, he believes that it's impossible to predict the future without considering adverse scenarios. This mentality leads him to create protection strategies like credit swaps to ensure that even in difficult times, his positions remain secure. He is an example of how intelligence and prudence can work together to achieve extraordinary results. And as Burry continues to refine his strategy, many wonder, what will his next bets be? After all, he's already proven he can see the future before most even recognize the signs. Now, the challenge is figuring out how these lessons can be applied by everyday investors, both in their finances and in their lives. Michael Burry's controversial bets in global markets. Michael Burry is no stranger to bets that challenge consensus. Since his historic victory against the housing, he has continued to draw attention with decisions that seem risky, but usually have extraordinary logic behind them. His recent positions in global markets show that his curiosity and intellect remain sharp, focused on identifying historical patterns others prefer to ignore. One of his most controversial bets has been his interest in natural resources, like water. For Burry, water is an undervalued asset with enormous potential for appreciation due to phenomena like climate change and population. He invests indirectly by buying agricultural land that uses innovative irrigation techniques to grow high-demand crops. This clever method reflects his long-term thinking and ability to turn a global problem into an investment opportunity. Another notable move was his bet against a highly valued stock market. In 2021, Burry raised concerns about bubbles in technology companies and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. He argued that the collective enthusiasm around these assets was similar to what he saw before the 2008 crisis. This position sparked controversy, but also highlighted his ability to spot influential patterns in investor behavior. Burry is also known for his critiques of the excessive use of economic stimuli by governments and central banks. He believes that these policies, although seemingly innovative in the short term, create long-term instability. His view is that growing debts could lead to even bigger financial crises in the future. This opinion led him to bet against government bonds, a decision few would have the courage to make. The global stock market is also a subject of his analysis. Burry frequently identifies undervalued companies with extraordinary growth potential. He uses his historical and intelligent approach to find opportunities that go unnoticed. For example, he has invested in companies focused on renewable energy, cutting-edge technology, and healthcare sectors he considers crucial for the future. These controversial bets often generate criticism, but Burry remains undeterred. He is known for his independent mindset, trusting his analysis above all. His behavior shows that being right doesn't always mean being popular, a lesson that can be applied in many areas of life. He teaches us that curiosity and the courage to challenge the tide can lead to incredible results, even when they initially seem incomprehensible. As Burry continues to explore the mysteries of global market, many wonder what his next move will be. Will he identify another major crisis or an innovative new opportunity? The financial world is always watching, waiting to see how he will once again change the game in extraordinary ways. Michael Burry's influence on popular culture and his depiction in The Big Short. Michael Burry, with his extraordinary story and uncommon intelligence, has transcended the financial world and become a pop culture icon. His journey gained worldwide recognition through the book The Big Short by Michael Lewis and the subsequent film adaptation, where he was brilliantly portrayed by Christian Bale. This adaptation not only highlighted his ability to predict the 2008 crisis, but also revealed more human and intriguing aspects of his personality. Christian Bale's portrayal brought an authentic dimension to the character of Burry, capturing his eccentricities and unique approach to the world. Bale studied Burry's mannerisms deeply, from his reserved posture to his passion for music and data analysis. This faithful representation made the character even more influential, sparking public curiosity about how someone so different from Wall Street stereotypes managed to pull off such a historic feat. The film also helped popularize complex concepts, such as credit swaps and the subprime bubble, making them accessible to a general audience. In this process, Burry was depicted as a reluctant hero, someone who took on the system but fought a lonely battle to prove he was right. This narrative, both inspiring and dramatic, reinforces the idea that intelligence, when used innovatively, can overcome even the greatest obstacle. Another important point in Burry's depiction is how his analytical approach was shown as a form of art. The film portrays his long nights of data analysis, his obsession with details, and his inability to ignore patterns that others couldn't see. This inspired thousands of people worldwide to question the nature of market, showing that even the most complicated phenomena can be understood with patience and dedication. Beyond the financial impact, The Big Short turned Burry into a cultural symbol. He became seen as the archetype of the outsider who challenges the norm and triumphs against all odds. His story inspired other films, books, and even talks on how to make smart decisions in a world that often rewards conformity. His influence extends beyond finance, touching areas like innovation and critical thinking. Despite the success of the film, Burry remains reserved, distancing himself from the fame that surrounds him. He often expresses discomfort with the attention he receives, preferring to focus on his analysis and investment. This stance only adds to the fascination around his figure, fueling the mystery about how he thinks and what he might be planning. And while The Big Short cemented his legacy, there's far more to Michael Burry's journey than what was shown on screen. The question remains, how does this influence in popular culture shape the public's perception of him? And more importantly, what can we learn from his story that goes beyond entertainment? Michael Burry's vision for the future and his recent warnings. Michael Burry remains an influential and mysterious figure in the financial world, known not only for his past accomplishments, but also for his predictions and warnings about the future. He believes that today's market is filled with hidden risks, similar to the ones preceding the 2008 crisis. His intelligence in identifying historical patterns makes him a unique observer of global trends, and his opinions often challenge the prevailing optimism. Among his most recent warnings, Burry has highlighted the rise in global debt as a ticking time bomb that could trigger another major financial crisis. Economic stimuli and mass money printing have created a false sense of security. He believes that current economic phenomena are masking serious structural problems, and the market's euphoria might be hiding an impending collapse. Another point that stands out is his criticism of cryptocurrencies and the technology market, which he sees as modern bubbles. He argues that the enthusiasm surrounding these assets is inflated by speculation, not the solid fundamentals he considers essential for any smart investment. This viewpoint has sparked heated debates but also reinforces his stance of analyzing trends with skepticism and curiosity. Burry also keeps a sharp eye on climate change and how they could shape the future of market. His investment in potable water is an example of how he uses his innovative vision to spot opportunities amid global crises. He believes that resource scarcity will be one of the biggest phenomena of the century, influencing not only the economy but also geopolitics. What's fascinating about his predictions is how he connects seemingly disconnected events to form a complete view. Burry considers history a powerful tool for understanding the future, often using examples from the past to justify his analysis. This method sets him apart from most analysts, who tend to focus only on contemporary data. Though his views might seem pessimistic to some, Burry sees them as realistic. He believes that the market rewards those who prepare for the unexpected, not those who ignore warning signs. His message is clear. Extraordinary success comes from the intelligence to anticipate problems and the courage to act before they become evident. With his track record, the financial world continues to pay close attention to every move Burry makes. The big question is he seeing something the rest of us haven't yet? And more importantly, how can we apply his vision to our own decisions, both financial and personal? Michael Burry's legacy and lessons for the future. Michael Burry's legacy goes far beyond his historic bet against the housing market. He represents the essence of critical thinking, relentless curiosity, and the courage to question the status quo. For investors, entrepreneurs, and curious minds alike, Burry is an example of how intelligence and innovation can turn even the most challenging situations into extraordinary opportunities. One of the biggest lessons Burry left us is the importance of trusting our own method, even when everyone around us doubts. He proved that with detailed analysis and determination, it's possible to spot phenomena before they become evident to most. This approach can be applied not only in the financial market, but also in everyday life decisions. Another powerful lesson is the need to deeply study what you want to master. Burry spent countless hours immersed in mortgage contracts and financial statements, revealing a level of dedication few are willing to match. He shows us that the extraordinary isn't achieved by chance, but by a combination of curiosity and hard work. His focus on the long term is also an influential aspect of his journey. In a world obsessed with quick results, Burry reminds us that patience and foresight are essential qualities. He invests in assets that he believes will have lasting value, such as agricultural land and natural resources, demonstrating how intelligent perspective can yield significant rewards over time. Furthermore, his example highlights the importance of facing resistance. During his bet against subprime mortgages, he was criticized, challenged, and even ridiculed. Yet, he held his ground, guided by his conviction. This type of resilience is a powerful lesson for anyone facing adversity in any area of life. Burry also made it clear that questioning the system is essential for bringing about change. He exposed the flaws of the financial market in 2008 and continues to warn about hidden dangers in the current system. His legacy inspires us to look beyond the obvious, to explore the mysteries, and to seek innovative solutions to complex problems. Ultimately, perhaps the greatest lesson Burry teaches us is the importance of being true to oneself. Despite the fame and recognition, he remains reserved, preferring to focus on what truly matters to him, uncovering the patterns that drive the world. His journey shows us that true success isn't just financial but also personal, marked by the pursuit of meaning and purpose. As the world continues to watch every step Burry takes, it's clear that his lessons are timeless. The question is, how can each of us apply these ideas in our own lives to achieve something extraordinary? After all, if there's one thing Michael Burry teaches us, it's that everyone has the ability to see beyond the obvious, just have to be willing to look. Michael Burry's legacy and the call to action. Michael Burry's journey teaches us that to achieve the extraordinary, we need more than just intelligence. We need courage, curiosity, and vision. Now, the big question is, what can you do today to see beyond the obvious and transform your life? Are you ready to challenge the system, question certainty, and bet on what you believe in? If so, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's keep exploring together the lessons and mysteries that can change the way you think and act.